So, I'm just reading these questions. Daily schedule for the week. Yeah. Tell me about it. I would love to do that, Tyson. Come into my life and see what happens with that shit. You want to schedule. Yeah. I wake up sometimes, Tyson. I'm like, I need to go back to bed. Today was one of those days. School screenshots. Yeah, we're going to do that towards the end. Yep. And that's, I agree. Everyone learns at a different level. So I have a partner. I mentioned this yesterday. I'm going to bring him on Thursday. He's one of the guys that I partnered with about a year ago, and he does all my lead management and he helps me get leads. So I was like, well, maybe I could bring this guy on and have him specifically, I mean, talk to everybody that's agencies, people that want to leave 9 to 5, people want to get in there, get involved in an agency, become an SEO expert, whatever. So on Thursday, he's going to come on, he's going to show you his whole system, how he does it and everything. And I'm thinking on Friday, what I'm going to do, just give you a breakdown, is after he talks, is then talk to y'all about how I go about hiring and finding VAs. Because I've had a lot of y'all asking about, well, how do you get a VA, especially a good VA? And even with my process or people I've learned from Jeff, for example, he's talked to me about it. It's not, it's still not easy. Even doing it with my method is still not easy. But we're going to go through that. I have a, I have probably 10 or so guests lined up for the next, I would say, month. All of which are the number one is going to be the guest speaker that's going to be at the SEO conference that's coming up. So I'll be releasing all that on a week to week basis, and those will actually be separate, and we'll do live question answers. I'll let everybody know as well. Let me let this one last person in. So today, what we're going to do, it's going to be some pretty basic stuff. It's a Monday for y'all, Tuesday for me. Nothing crazy. Maybe call in here. So I'm going to show y'all everything and how I've quote unquote siloed the content and all that jazz. So remember Mr. Havoc Repair? All right, so that's where we're back at again. Mr. Havoc Repair, we had 21 new pages of content. And feel free to ask questions in the chat and raise hands as usual. So we had to make a couple of changes, had to make the logo smaller in the header because it wasn't fitting with all this new content up here. Residential heating repair services, everything that has to do with heating repair, furnaces, heating service and repair, tankless water heater, heat pump. If it didn't had the word heater or boiler or something like that in it, and goes underneath here, it's very simple for me. Whenever I go siloing content, I go, what's the service I'm wanting to put all this information under for residential heating repair services? So everything to do with heating repair services is going to be under there as long as it has to do with residential. Right. Then I got just straight residential repair services for AC, which I'm going to change this up, but all my air con related services, air conditioner repair service, air conditioner installation services, air conditioning service and repair, evaporative cooler repair service, installation service, humidifier repair service are all under here. Then we got 24-hour, 7 days a week emergency repair service, and then just straight emergency repair. This is their original page, the emergency repair, until I decide what I want to do with it. We're going to organize this some today. Commercial Havoc repair services, commercial system maintenance service. All of this, we got up here now. We're going to organize it some. And then we need to start our internal linking. Internal, outbound linking, all that jazz. We've already went over this sometime, a couple of, I believe last week, on internal linking and outbound linking, and we're going to do it again. Some of these classes, I know we're doing things 2 or 3 times because the more y'all see it, the more you'll actually learn it and know how to apply it. So let's go ahead and log in. Any questions so far? Raise your hand or type it in the chat. I will not get a high level speaker. Never. Never. I'll take that back. Let them unblock me from being able to post and I'll get a high level speaker. Just like Chase Rayner, I can't, poker player. You're a poker player. I'm all in. My wife would kill me. She hears that crap. Used to love that crap, man. Still do, but whatever. All right, we've logged in. So first thing I want to do, I'm going to change a couple of things. So residential repair services, heating repair services. Yep. We're going to go to menu. All right, see, I'm going to fix this because it pushed it over. Don't kill me, but I'm not going to do it. I'm going to have my guy that loves the Divi so damn much do it because I have not got the patience for Divi. Unless you want to step in, Sheen, and fix it. So we got residential heating repair services. We got the air conditioner repair services. Now I'm going to organize this some because I don't like how this is all convoluted. I'm going to get rid of this 301 number here because I want that to be a button. So I'll have him do that today. Make this into a nice bright red or green button. See any more questions because keep popping up over here. Move it over this way. Styling is simply binning categories. Yeah, buckets. Think of it as buckets. No, I don't love Divi. I hate Divi. I absolutely hate it. Because to me, it's really just, yeah. So I've had a couple of people ask about something. Talking about Elementor. Sean actually mentioned something about Elementor to me and price going up. So if y'all need Elementor, just let me know. Please don't go spend money that you don't need to spend. Unless you absolutely want to, then you could just send it to me. Sure, there's plenty of people that need it. All right, so home residential repair heating services, and I put heating first because they're up in, yeah, not for me. Nevertheless, they're in Northeast Florida, not Northeast Florida, Northeast USA. So I put heating first, and then what'll happen is, yeah, we'll get to that. What I'll do is when it changes, the weather changes, I'll put air conditioner first in the menu. But right now I have heating first, then air conditioning. I could change this, put about us first. Why us? I leave that right where it's at. The blog, I'm going to put that down to the back and then contact us and hit save. Now that I hit save, I go back up to the top and voila. All right. The only thing I'm going to add up here, and I'll add it once I'm actually done, is going to be a button. Nice big green or red button. It's going to say, book now or schedule an appointment. All right. Let me go here to look at some of these questions. Yeah, I'm already locked in to the price I have called free. Should you keep your internal links all in the same silo? Personally, I keep all Havoc in Havoc, Resident, for instance, Aircon and Aircon, and so on and so forth. Now, when you're blogging, that's the next step we're going to get into. So, for example, when you blog, most people, we're going to cover a little bit of this, but because this all honestly has to do with each other, even the internal linking. Let's say you had a blog, right? And I go to do a new blog post and I go post and I hit new. All right. That's what most people just instantaneously do. Well, what's the categories? That's the first thing. What categories you got set up? So this guy's got portfolio, uncategorized, uncategorized. Essays from 2019 on ecology, education, law, history, economy, and a blog. And everything he's doing, he's put it underneath this non-optimized blog category. First thing I'm going to do, nothing's in anything but uncategorized and blog. So I'm going to delete everything that we're not using. That's step one. Right? If they were using it, we'll organize it. So he's got most of his stuff in this one blog. So I'm going to show you the quick and dirty way of doing it, and we'll cover it more eventually. So Frederick air conditioning and heating, right? You see this? This is your main H1 header. I'm going to grab it. I'm going to change this into that category. Update, right? Now, if I wanted to, I could actually go in here, and this is what we'll get into more so as well. As you get into you'll edit it. Now I can put in a description. And I'm just grabbing this, the quick and dirty of it. If your AC or heating is on the fritz, we understand your blah, 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 fix AC. You could change it to, let me add Anthony. Our team is ready. Frederick air conditioning. It's mentioned all your keywords. I'm just making sure it's mentioning keywords. And I don't really give a shit about this Yoast stuff. I mean, you can if you want. The good thing about Yoast, I'll take that back. The good thing about Yoast, if you really wanted to, and I'll show you this. Let me save this and we'll update this. I'll get to you, Sean, in a second. Just want to keep going. So it tells you, for instance, the one I really don't I mean, maybe people condemn me, whatever, for this, but I don't really give a shit about this readability shit. I'm terrible when it comes to grammar. I'm terrible when it comes to spelling. I know my weaknesses, but I also, in my humble opinion, most people are not going to sit here. A, it's in the category. They're not going to read it. B, they're not going to say, what's the fuck is a transition word? I don't even know what a transition word is. I'm not going to go through here and examine someone's grammar skills. I'm not a grammar Nazi. So you can use Yoast. The best thing to use Yoast for, okay, Yoast is going to tell you, for example, there are reasons I don't use it. Well, if your title is too long, they're going to say you're a bad boy, right? So here's your, if your title is too long, you're a bad boy, right? And here's your title here. So we could change your title. Let's give you, for instance, if we go here and here's your title, which I always hate using these Yoast things, so I'll get rid of this crap, and I'll put in that, and let's say Maryland, right? And now magically it goes to green because it's optimized for what Yoast thinks is the proper length of title. But I've also seen other people, you go Frederick AC and heating, and they'll sit and they'll type in havoc repair, and they'll go AC repair. And now you see Yoast goes, bad boy. It's too long. Well, I've also seen SEO experts, and just recently it was in one article where Google says actually having a really, really, really long title is really good for SEO. So what I would tell you is what most people see is the title, and why it's bad to have long length or short length is they go, what are you seeing when you pull up this right here? You know, on this little header, this title area, what are you seeing? I see Havoc Frederick MD. So I know that this page is about Havoc Frederick MD. I'm going to change it to Frederick Air Conditioning and Heating. I could also change it to Frederick, Maryland Havoc Repair down here. This is all good. Then they want me to put in a just nice little long ass description or short ass description. I take the same description that I put up here, put it down here. They're going to tell you, okay, it's too long or whatever. You know, you sit here and you finagle with it and find a happy little medium. So Yoast is happy with you or whatever. I mean, this is what most people like Yoast for, is because they'll sit here and they could go by, oh, is my colors red, green, or orange? You know, is it too long? And then you go, oh, this is where they say it's too long. You know, they want me to get rid of all this stuff, right? So I get rid of all, and now Yoast is happy and pleased and all that. Where is this stuff coming up at? And I'll show you. Let's say if we entered in, just for example, this is our new page. What do you know? They're on page 1. This is your title right here. This is your snippet from your description. That's why it's important, right? So you go on here, you edit it, make sure, and this is just for your blog post. And most people don't do this. And this is why they'll say, well, you don't need to index, in my opinion, you don't need to index your blog or your author or your categories. I index my categories and my authors, and this is why. Go ahead, Sean.
On the homepage, sorry, we're going back to that, but
No,
on the
I'm good.
homepage, the how you have the menus, I know you're gonna put in the one button, but would you be like, honestly, I would put like the click to call and also to the emergency repair or
Yep,
one
next
of
to each
those.
other.
Yeah, like you're not opposed to two buttons like that, or
You can. I might get rid of altogether. I might get rid of the click to call and make this a button, because most people, when they're calling for Havoc or a plumber or a roofer, it's an emergency. It's not, hey, I just decided to change my AC. It's, hey, I'm freezing my ass off. I need
yeah,
you to get here,
exactly,
you
yeah,
know.
yeah.
So in that
That's what I
case,
was
what
trying
I'm
to think of
probably,
that.
yeah, I'm gonna wind up probably taking this and leaving the other button gone, the number, and moving this all the way over to the right and making it bright red ass button. So they go emergency, they click it and they call. But yeah.
It doesn't really screw up anything by, it's still in the header, right? If you do like two
Correct.
levels, right? It's
Correct. And
still the
I've
header.
seen, if you look at, there's another site I had, it literally had, I think, 3 buttons up here, but I only want one call to action like this. To me, I'm going to be changing this. I don't like this because I want it to be bright. I learned
Yeah.
that from Jeff. Have this bright, because this just, it don't pop out to me at all. So, but we'll get to a lot of this stuff. But so we have all that, but another way you could do your categories on your blogs, and this is what I would encourage you to do, is so you have, if we go back to our Havoc repair site, we have our main pillar content. What's our pillar content? Our main pillar content would be residential heating and repair services in Frederick, residential air conditioning repair services in Frederick, and emergency repair services in Frederick, and commercial heating and air conditioning services in Frederick. So the categories I should actually make is going to be a blog category on for residential heating, a blog category for residential air conditioning, a blog category for emergency services, a blog category for commercial HVAC systems. Why? Now, besides what I showed you the other day, where you're going to take your GMB post and right click and grab that image and put it inside your blog that has to do with, let's say in this case, 24-hour emergency repair service. I have a GMB post that talks about 24-hour repair service. I'm going to right click, grab that, put it inside of my blog, number one. But also number two, on that blog, if it's about 24/7 emergency repair service, I'm going to internal link it back to 24-hour, 7-day-a-week emergency repair service. If it's about residential air conditioning installations, I'm going to link it back to that silo content up in this one, residential air conditioning services. If it's about heating, I'm going to silo it and put it in here. Another thing you could also do, and we'll wind up doing, I just got to get this done in Divi, is at the very bottom, I'm going to put a blog roll of all the blogs that mention are in that category for emergency repair service or whatever category you're in. Let's say it's residential heating. So every one of these pages underneath here will have a blog roll at the very bottom for that specific blog category. Essentially, the way you want to look at it is stack part one. If you want to look at what a stack is, what is a stack? A stack, for instance, would be my H1, then my H2, my H3, of course, my content, right? And then in this case, my blogs, in a location page, it'd be a little bit different, but your blog is just there to support your pillar content, your subheaders, all the stuff. It's just there to support. Instead of just going, well, here's just one piece of information, I'm doing internal linking and some outbound linking, and you can get websites ranked just by doing that. That's part one. So we've gotten, if you will, everything nice, neat, organized, all that jazz up here. So next thing we need to do, let's go to our home page. So our home page, what we're going to wind up doing now that we got all this content, when you come back and I show it to you tomorrow, we're going to have a blurb for residential heating repair services, residential air conditioning, 24-hour service, and commercial HVAC services, all on the homepage. It'll be like a blurb, image, read more, blurb, image, read more, blurb, image, read more. So this page will have like 1,500 plus words of content. Y'all follow me? Let's see real quick. Another thing they don't have on here that I'm going to encourage them to put on here is going to be live chat. Just like I'm going to talk to y'all, we're going to talk to y'all on Thursday about LinkedIn live chat. Just with the LinkedIn strategy alone, you'll get 40 plus, not just leads, but appointments a month. Not leads, appointments. Okay. And then you throw on your freaking chat bot in here, and then you'll get even more. And I might have my man Jeff come on and show you all that, because I'm not quote unquote a master at chatbot. You ask me to do a damn chatbot, I'm gonna install the chatbot and put a couple of little strings in there of communication, but that's about it. But I have other people that are very, 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 very much in chatbot, like Jeff. That's all he does. He books, I don't even know how many. I think yesterday he had he booked and sold 8 new clients, I believe, on just chatbot, without SEO, without pay-per-click or any of that stuff, I believe. But a chatbot in here, all types of jazz. So tomorrow we're gonna have that in here with each of these pages for residential and heating and all that. Let's see real quick. I will not, I mean, I use Grammarly for grammar, but I'm going to also tell you Grammarly sucks for grammar. You know why? I'm going to say that for you. For instance, I give you for instance, because I used to use it. I used to use Mentorprise to write my content, and then I use Grammarly to check plagiarism and grammar. So here's a little problem you're going to have with that, though. So let me say, for instance, I give you, for instance, um, in Grammarly, instead of saying this was a difficult situation, they'll say this was a convoluted situation. They'll use some very difficult word. They'll use some extra long, big word that most people don't even use. And a lot of times, whenever we've used it, and we would get the Grammarly back. Yes, it would say no plagiarism. It's all unique and the grammar's perfect and all that. And then I would send it to my clients, for instance, agencies, and they would send it to their clients. Let's say it's a plumber or Havoc, and they'd be like, I can't even understand this stuff. It makes no sense to me. And so you'd have to dumb it down. And I'm not saying the clients are dumb or nothing. It's just your average Joe is not going to speak in dictionary language, which is what Grammarly pretty much uses. That being said, you could use Grammarly and then you're going to re-go back through it and dumb it down yourself. But then realize when you dumb it down, if you put it back through Grammarly, Grammarly is going to say you have errors, or in worst case scenario, they'll say it actually looks like a piece has been plagiarized. So is there any value in doing an internal link from your page or post to the category page? Yes. And that's why I said, for instance, I will link to, on the very bottom of, let's say, heating, it will have a blog roll of all my heating posts. Air conditioning repair, same thing. It took me a year to find anyone to explain that shit to me in plain English. 6 months later, Will does in 5 minutes. Yeah. Jeff say lose live chat. Most sites gets 20% minimum more leads. It's correct. I mean, I've had people with live chats. Why I want to have someone on to talk about it is, no, they'll tell them about live chat. Why don't we put it on? They'll say, no, absolutely not. It looks ridiculous. I don't want it on there. And I said, trust me, just put it on there. And then, like Clearly I Care, we took them. They were getting 90 something calls a month. When they started, they were getting 30 something. So I would definitely use it. Let's see. Yeah, if you can make a raw video in live chat, and if you want to do that, would be great. If you want to show us the concept, that'd be great. If you want to come on, I'd love it. I've been wanting to have you on, but things come up. He's actually been sick, so that's why we haven't been able to have him on. But any more questions before I keep going? Sorry about that. I have to get my coffee. So let's go ahead and pull up. So all his posts, he's had all his posts just sitting here in uncategorized. And they were uncategorized. He has them in uncategorized and everything. Personally, if it's me, what I'll do is I'll take this uncategorized and I'm gonna wind up editing it and changing it, because I can't stand these uncategorized things. So we're gonna go edit. We're gonna change this to say Havoc repair. See, terrible at spelling. Told y'all. Repair service. All right. Slug basically means short name. Do you have a parent? No, I'm not having a parent in this. And see, your readability is good, but saying your SEO is terrible. And then I go here. All right. What I don't want y'all to do is get analysis paralysis, and y'all sit there and everything is like, oh my God. You go through this year's thing, oh, your keywords too long, your text length is not long enough, and all this crazy crap that everybody wants to say helps you get ranked. Sometimes it can, most of the time it does not. Internal linking, yes, but this craziness, go ahead, Javid.
Hey, William, I just had a question.
Mm-hmm.
Is it true, based on your own testing, if you have seen it, if the keyword is in the URL, in the title, in the
Mm-hmm.
H1, does
Mm-hmm.
that become over optimized?
No, absolutely not. Not in my
Like,
experience. Not in my experience. I would actually tell you if your page is about HVAC repair services in Frederick, you better have it in your URL. You need to have it in your H1. You need to have it in your title. You need to have it in your description, and you need to be using it as anchor link text.
correct. Okay.
So, and here's another one for you. So, Google doesn't want you to quote unquote buy links, and they hate text links. It's interesting. You want to see something? I'll show you. See if I can pull it up. See if I can get it. I had it the other day. Google patent text links. So, if Google hates text links and anchor text so much, which some people say, then why in the hell does Google have a patent on it? You could see, if you want to see Google's patents, just go under patents.google.com. But that's just a little tidbit. But this is one of the main factors in getting something ranked is besides what I was just telling you about your title, is your text links. There's some other stuff we're going to go talk to on another class about, which is going to be injecting text inside of your map embeds and how you can optimize those. But so we got all this set up. Let's go back to here. Let's go back to here. We got our categories. That's the only category I'm gonna start with, okay? Because we don't have any. If in my opinion, you got 7 blogs, I need a hell of a lot more blogs before I start doing that. William, do you believe in over optimism? No, I do not. It's not a thing. And I'll tell you this: I'll also say this: if Google tells me something probably doesn't work, if Google says this doesn't work, I can almost guarantee it actually works. I don't believe anything that comes out of Mueller's mouth ever. I mean, I actually listen to him, but I listen to him to actually do the opposite of what he says to do, per se. Most of the time, he's not going to tell you that, they're not going to come out and tell you this is how you rank your website. The only time they're going to do it says, hey, you need content. Well, you can also rank without content. So I've seen both. You need content, but I've seen people rank without it. So let's say we're going to go to the homepage. I'm going to see if I can do this because I hate Divi. If not, I'll have my guys do it, but I'm going to show y'all some of the internal linking per se. So let's go here, edit, enable visual builder. I'm pretty sure I can do this part. If you have any questions, keep asking. Robbie Reed, use Screaming Frog. Yes, I love Screaming Frog. People think it's a joke when I say Screaming Frog, but no, it's not. It's not a joke. So we got this right here. They have some Q&As down here. They have some premier partners down here. They have their map down here. Then they have their map here. It's not really too big of a problem per se. They have the counties they have serving down here, but they're not linked. But first thing I want to do is I want to get this homepage where it actually has some good content. So we're going to take at least some of these services, residential HVAC services, and put it on the homepage. So realistically, this is all the content it has on it. It's 500-ish words. But we want to get that on here, because really it just goes, hey, the only thing you see here so far is Havoc, Frederick, Maryland, local heating and cooling service. That's about it. All right. So what we could do, then they go, what makes us different? Call us, troubleshoot, repair. So I'm going to put it right here where you see this plus. You could go, you know, new section. We're going to do regular section. We're going to do this. So now it's a new section, right? I could put in, let's say, for instance, I give you 2 ways to set it up. You can do it this way, and then you can drop in your text. This is residential, Havoc services, right? That's one way, right? And then now you don't have an image here. You don't have a button, call to action here, or anything like that. And that's not really what I want to do. So I'm going to go back. Let me admit this person in. And let's do it a different way. Because what I usually want is I want image, text, call to action. Image, text, call to action. That's just how I do it. So for instance, here, I'm going to put this, go put regular. I'm going to choose a 2-columner. Like, let's say, for instance, on this one, we'll do it this way. We're going to put, this is going to be an image. I want this first button area here to be an image. I'm just going to, come on, baby. This is why I dislike utterly Divi. So this is Divi, but nevertheless, you'd upload your image here. You could put your alt text here, alt text here. Let me go over here. I'll do a different way. Give me 1 second. Havoc Pro, Frederick, Maryland. So let's go. This one's going to be about air conditioning, right? Right click, copy image, or copy image address. See if it'll let me do it. Bam, there you go. See that? Oh, and by the way, because someone asked this the other class. So remember someone had asked, they said, well, what if this image breaks? You know, it's deleted or whatever, and it goes away. And if you insert it on your page, what happens if it breaks? Well, I actually tested this the other day, did an insert, went in, deleted this image, this post, and the image never broke. Because just like Facebook, Google, once you've uploaded that data, they keep the data. They don't get rid of the data ever. So nevertheless, so you could grab the image, put the image there, you put your alt text here if you wanted to, but this is got the CID and everything in it for, let's say, for instance, this is air conditioning repair Frederick, you know. You know, if you wanted to hyperlink to another page, let's say it's this one right here, residential Havoc services, or in this case, residential air conditioning repair service. Opens in the same window. It doesn't have to open up in a different window. You can disable it, enable it on whatever device you're using, saved. Now come over here. We're going to hit text. You can hit, for instance, title, or in this case, I like the and then I go over here. This is just Havoc services. This is a H1 header. You change this over to, let's say, an H2. Since Divi wants to be a pain, I'll go over here and change it in the code itself. All right, then you could add a button down here, you know, or you could say read more. Depends on you. You could say, for instance, to learn more about our residential air conditioning repair services. All right, so now, you know, it has that. You go click here. But then I could also go, for instance, I can either, you know, I wouldn't word it that way necessarily. You could go like, click here to learn about, you know, and then I can hyperlink this text over to, you know, not that text, but over to this page right here, because this page is about residential havoc. So we're going to grab this air conditioning one since this is about air conditioning, right? And now that text is hyperlinked, right? Click down here on Divi and always make sure you hit save. So we're going to wind up doing this with all of our services. When we come back tomorrow, I'm going to show it to you and we'll have all of these services linked in here on the home page. And then we're going to get into the other pages and interlinking those pages with other pages in the same category or the same bucket or same silo. So we'll get into linking all these together, linking all these together. So today we have our buckets pretty much set up. And then we're going to, we already showed you how we're going to quote unquote, because a lot of people will say, well, how do you get 1,500 words of content on your homepage? It's relatively easy because you have, let's say in my case, I added 21 plus pages of content. He's probably got close to 30 pages of content now. And we're going to take that content and we're going to now put it on snippets on his homepage, right? And with 21 pages of content alone at 500 words of content on each page, I gave him almost 11,000 words of content. Google will start paying attention. You know, that's the goal of content, really get them. Let's see. Okay. Any other questions? I'm going to go ahead and stop my screen share, get out of Divi. Let's close all this. Questions, questions, questions. Go ahead, Javid.
I had a question in regards to iframes. Is it still worth putting iframes on, let's say, not just the main website, but let's say press releases, citations, and backlinks and stuff like that?
I'm going to show you. So I'm 900% sure. I'm going to show you what I know, which I think you're talking about. And I'm going to, if it is, I'm going to say yes. For instance, let's go here. Havoc. All right. Yes, absolutely. So, and I'll tell you what he's talking about. Let me show you. And I'll show you a different way. This is a way of inserting. This is one way of inserting some text. So when he says an iframe, this is how most people will share and embed an iframe. Let me show you real quick. Chris also goes over this, so I know it's something he mentions. So let's go to contact us, and this is where we're going to do it at. This is what you're talking about, Javid, right? iframe.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. All right. So you notice they have no map on their contact page, which is in my case a big freaking no-no. They don't have their name, address, phone number. They just have their address and phone. So most people would say, well, they're on the website, so obviously they're Havoc preparers. Well, the thing is, I'm wanting to create consistency with your NAP. Like on a press release, how do you stack a NAP? We'll go through that. You have your optimized title, you have your press release, right? And then you have an embedded map. You have your NAP, name, address, phone number, with an embedded map. That is a press release stack if you do it properly. Okay, so for example, what he's talking about with an iframe, you grab this iframe. This is just one way of grabbing. You go copy to HTML, right? Let's go in here and enable Visual Builder if Divi will allow me to do what I want to do. All right, so he doesn't have his name, address, phone number, none of that jazz in here. So first thing I'm going to do, besides grab this, let me go over to here. He's a service area business, so he's not going to have that. He's got his phone number. Havoc. Frederick. All right, just me. All right, now I'm going to go back over here, grab this, and I'm going to insert, if you will, HTML code, and it won't let me do it on this one. So I go to insert the actual code. Instead of hitting visual, I hit text, and I drop the code in like that, right? So now you have a map down here, has Frederick map, blah, 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 blah. So you see these two little Pac-Mans on this code right here? The lesser and greater sign, it's like this. See it? Shake your head, bobble it. Okay. So how do I insert, if you will, like we were just talking about with the patents and stuff like that, Google loves, you know, how do you optimize this map besides, hey, it's already got my CID information, it's already got my name information in it. So if this page was, let's say, about a location, you can do this on location pages. This is another thing that we also do, for example. Let's say this was for Havoc Repair Frederick or Havoc Repair Baltimore. I could go in between those two little Pac-Mans, Havoc Repair Baltimore, or in this case, Frederick, Maryland. Right? Come on, it disappeared on me. Let me delete it and I'll go do it on the other page since Divi wants to be a pain. Copy HTML. Divi's being a pain today, but you take in between these two Pac-Mans right here, and you would enter in your title or keyword, whatever it is. Let's say in this case it's Havoc Repair. Gene Suarez coming in. Repair Frederick. Right?
I think you're calling Frederick.
Frederick. Okay, give me 1 second. I'll make sure. Nope. Frederick. 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 Yep, Frederick. All right, and then you can embed that into, I know Elementor works, but Divi, you know, I don't know about Divi. I'll try it again here. There you go. So now that text, if you were to look at it, has that code in it, right? Another thing we could do, you see how this right here is actually a hyperlink? You've ever noticed that it's view larger map is a hyperlink and it has the text up here? This is a text link. You know, you can edit this, which most people don't realize. For instance, you go to up here, this is a little bit of code. You see this line of code right here where it says, I'll give you for Havoc. Right there, that's their actual business name, right? And then it's hyperlinked. That is hyperlinked text. It's hyperlinked. So whenever you click on this view large, this whole thing is a hyperlink. So if we wanted to really bump it up and level up on our game here, we could go, for instance, instead of just slapping the code in there, we've actually already put the keyword in here, Frederick repair, Havoc repair Frederick. I can actually now take and go, for instance, Havoc Frederick Pro percentage 20, percentage 20. You see all these percentage 20. Percentage 20 is the equivalent of adding, you go percentage 20, Havoc, percentage 20, repair, percentage 20, you get the point. Repair, you go percentage 20, Havoc repair, and in this case, we're going, let's say in this one, we're going to put, because it's on a location page, we go Frederick, then we go percentage 20. Right, and now we take that, go back here. You see what I just did, right? Now I basically optimized this to the max. This map, now instead of on our location pages, when we go to do our location pages, there's everything. I mean, when we do our location pages again, because we're actually going to do one together this week, I'm going to show you how I stack it. And whenever I take these maps, because most people, well, you're just taking a map of, let's say, Texas and slapping it in there, and it has nothing to do with eye doctor or whatever. Yeah. Just keep believing that. When we do the embed, like Javed was talking about, I'm putting the keyword I'm wanting to rank for inside that embed. And you can do the same thing. If you're going to do press releases, you need to be doing embeds. You need to be doing your naps. And then on top of it, I can take, for instance, people will say, well, for instance, Money Robot and all these other things don't work. Well, it just depends on how you're using them. Are you using your embeds? What are you doing? It's a matter of how are you doing it. On top of it, for instance, here's another, for instance, you can take a map and embed the map on your YouTube channel, for instance. And most people don't do that. Let me click on this and save this before I leave it.
Hey, William, quick question on that before you go over to YouTube. So every single GMB map that you embed of the business, you change,
you can change,
you add a keyword.
You change the keyword and then back in. And we're going to go over that this week because we're going to go over map embeds this week. And what's my favorite song, Ruben? Because now you got me curious.
It's the one you keep humming, man. It's the
you want to hear my favorite song is actually
it's Get Paper and Get Money.
Yeah. Now you're gonna have me listen to this all day, but let me my favorite one, y'all ain't gonna be, I don't even know how to do it. I know you can share it on here, is Biggie Smalls, actually. It's the one that goes, when I die, I don't want to go to heaven and be a goody goody. I want to wear black Timbs, and that one, I don't want to wear white.
That's Ready to Die, right?
Yep, that one.
Yeah.
He's my favorite rapper of all time I've ever loved. So he's awesome. So it's Suicidal Thoughts.
Suicidal thoughts. Okay. On the
Yeah.
rap.
Not that I'm suicidal, not that I'm playing suicide down. Don't, you know. But I'm gonna be listening to that song, guarantee you, all damn day long since you sent that shit to me. Is for instance, I'll give you, and while I was having y'all do some YouTube stuff, I'm not at freedom to say certain things just yet, but there is something that I'm working on, A, for everybody here, and B, if we get this, and if I can get this guy on here, which he's probably going to come on here this week, it will make most of what you see out there for click-through rate manipulation look like child's play. And so, and I know Anthony's in here. Did you hear me, Anthony? Click-through rate manipulation. You've been begging for this shit.
Yeah, I love it.
So this guy, when he comes on, I'm already testing it. I'll put it that way. And I've seen the results already. I'll show you some of the results if you want to see it. Anthony would love it if I get it. Where is it at? Where's it at? Nope, I don't have it. I don't have it no more.
It's not Chris Palmer or Dr. X.
Please. Child's play.
Maybe Matt Boley then?
Nope.
All right.
I'll tell you. Let me pause this real quick. Give me 1 second. So let's get back to this. But he should be coming on this week and he'll be going over everything with everybody. I'm in another group with this person it's a private group. So for instance, in your naps, when you're doing a YouTube video, and I know some of y'all have started doing this, but James never went over this part, is like I'm doing some suicide or crime scene cleanup stuff. This is just an informational 30-second video, right? And I put his name, address, phone number, all that jazz in here. I put the share link from here, and I put their website here. And I'm doing this for a crap ton of reasons. The CTR that I'm using will actually share locally your YouTube links, just FYI. And I'm doing some other stuff back here as well. But you want to put that in your YouTube link. Number one. Obviously, it's quote unquote crime scene cleanup Dallas or whatever, and it's quote unquote not that big of a competitive word, but the one I'm above has 1 million views. The one I'm above there has 1.9. So it's pretty good accomplishment in less than a day. But like I said, when you do your videos, you want to embed your NAP, and you want to embed your share link, and you want to embed your, your name, address, phone number, website link. So,
and when that share link is a share link of the video
share
itself.
link of the video itself. See it? Copy. It's a 7VJQ, 7VJQ, and I'm doing that specifically for CTR manipulation. So another one I'm working on is this one. Let's see where we're at, because I haven't checked it this morning. And because a lot of y'all are like, why? I didn't know you do GMB verification. No, I don't. Not for most people. So it's only right here. But it's been up for 2 days. I'm trying to do it for that term. And then I'm running some other tests. And some other tests I came up with, and I'm running too as well for URL structures, redirects, and a bunch of other stuff. So we'll be going over a lot of this in multiple meetings on every week. So I'm just in talks with him right now, but let's see if I could show you Let me see if I could find it and I'll show you the results, Anthony. I'm pretty much done for this class. Let's go ahead. CTR manipulation, you have to go, for instance, if you have a plumber and he normally gets, let's say 2,000 views a month on his site. How much of those are mobile? How much of those are desktop? I need to know that information. Is he getting, let's say it's plumber, Baltimore, Maryland? Is that keyword being indexed or picked up in his Google Search Console? All right. These are all things I need to know before doing CTR. What type of mobile devices are they on? Android or OS? Okay. Now, if you don't have that information, you just go, hey, I got this awesome CTR booster, right? And I'm going to just send a crap ton of traffic. I'm not going to have the latitude, the longitude. I'm not going to have neighborhood network. I'm not going to have a mobile network. I'm not going to have Android devices. I'm not going to have none of that, right? And let me send 500 new, let's say 500 new traffic to the site. You're going to get very, very disappointed. And many times I've seen the maps go, instead of green in the middle, they'll be green outside or green over here and red everywhere else. And when you do incorrect CTR, Google will also go, just like if you do backlinks, where Google goes, well, how in the hell do you go from getting an average of, let's say 1,400 views a month to now you're getting like 3,000? That's just abnormal. So you have to mimic normal behavior and growth. You can't just go, let me dump 2,000 views onto this map. It has to be gradual and it has to be over time. So you have to give it time. But then I've seen, for instance, there was a guy the other day, I've seen the same program, why I'm bringing him on. He stopped doing any CTR after 2 weeks. Months go by not doing nothing. All right, nothing. When I say nothing, I mean nothing. Doesn't do anything. Maintains his top position. His top position drops to number 14. He runs what I'm talking about for 2 days, and then he took back number 1. So that's why I talked to the guy. I said very clearly that I won't be, I'm not going to drop any names or say anything like that. I'll let him come on and let him do the demo, let him talk about it and offer it to everybody. And this is something that anybody that's involved, that's an agency, once I'm done testing it, will be. So if you're an agency, and you're with me, don't worry. So I'll put it that way. I've already asked them. I need it at scale. I don't need it just for 1 or 2 people. So,
Nice.
But nevertheless, that's the only reason and Anthony knows this. I've seen and I know where Dr. X got his stuff from too, by the way. Dr. X, Chris Palmer, Holly Starks, all of them. I mean, all of it's great. It's just so intensive. When you're doing CTR, you have to pay micro workers, have your own freaking, like Holly Starks, she goes out and gets 100 200 cell phones with all their own IP, all this other emulators and all this other crap. And it's a lot of work. Think of it this way. This guy has a team of developers. I'll put it like, I was impressed. It takes a lot to impress me when it comes to this stuff, but he impressed me, and I was just, I told him, I said, yeah, I'm signing up. Send me the link. I don't care how much, just send it to me. And I've been running tests so far. So, and once he comes on, it'll probably be Wednesday, Thursday. And then once he comes on, I'm going to have him demo it. Then I'm going to have another guy come on, show you how to do certain things. And it will be specifically just CTR. So I'm not going to do a separate course. It's just going to be, here's the information, and most people would never do that. Let's make a separate course and make some more money. Nope, not happening. So let me do one thing and see if I can check something out.
Thank you, William.
Yep. Any other questions? Let me run this, see if I could run a report real quick. And while I got y'all on, see if it is changing anything so far.
What day will you be bringing this guy on, William?
I'm praying Wednesday.
Okay.
Thursday I
uh,
have someone else, but Wednesday I'm hoping.
Does the tool name starts with letter V?
No comment. I plead the fifth. You know who I'm talking about, though, right?
Yeah, I know.
He's a genius. He's a genius.
Yeah, I haven't jumped on it, but I came across it. So
I'll put it this way. He showed it to once he showed it to me. I'm very skeptical. I sat on it for about a week because I have a lot of people tell me that, you know, for instance, such and such works or such and such, you know, is amazing. And it's just most of the time it winds up being hogwash is what it winds up being. But this guy, when I seen this stuff, I then went back through it and I talked to, you know, another guy that's in it and said, how did you do this? And he's telling me, and I was like, you know, I was just baffled because I asked him, I straight up asked him what type of proxies, I asked him all types of questions. And he had, I mean, you'll be impressed. I would say if you look at it, you'll really be impressed. I know Anthony will be impressed. And
are we getting any discount with it or
I'm working on that.
Perfect.
I know on top of it, he's also, I'm waiting mainly because I want to see some results because I'm running some tests and I know he knows that. And if I even see a minute bump, because this is the one I'm running it on is a brand new website, brand new area, brand new everything. I've only done citations and I've only done some, you know, cheesy foundational link type stuff and some in the, of course, always the tier ones and stuff like that. But, you know, we'll see what happens. If it does in any level, then it's like, yeah, it's a no brainer for me. So give me 1 second. I'm just running a report. Y'all can ask questions, ask away. I'm going to go ahead and stop this recording.